Welcome to Ripon Tiger Fall on the Ripon channel. Tonight it's homecoming, it's wet, it's visible outside, but it's a great time, a great atmosphere here. I'm Howard Hanson. Because it's raining, we're stuck inside.
That's okay. That's okay. When you're kind of getting like me in the long in the tooth, indoor from the inclement weather, I like that.
Well, exactly. Well, let's just touch briefly last week about Dylan.
It was a thrashing.
40-46.
Yeah, I thought about that, Howard, and this is what all we're going to say about it. It was Custer's last stand. Guess who was Custer?
I like it. Well, on the other side, the other Indians took it to the Chargers 40 feet in. So between these two teams tonight, they have a whopping 6 points from the last ball.
Yes.
So where do we go from here?
Well, you're looking for a team that is winless. The homecoming team of the Ripon Tigers taking on a team with one win over another winless team. Speaking of Warriors and Indians, the Ripon Warriors. So I tell you right now, I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this is the type of offense they run. This is the type of defense and the personality of the defense, and this is what they like to do in third down and long situations. We're not going to talk about that. It's not about the technical stuff anymore. I don't think. It's emotional. It's mental. It's hit and it's get. It's blocking and tackling. It's pretty fundamentally simple when you think when you break football and think about it. What is it really? And I think that last week they didn't do a good job of that. They just got out blocked, they got out tackled, they lost it in the trenches, and they got out of hand. So tonight, who's going to metaphorically come out and throw the first punch? Okay? The visitors from Kettle Moraine Lutheran or the hosting team at homecoming that's still in search of their first win?
Well, and the Tigers have beaten the Chargers the last two ball games, so they've got a little bit there to kind of grab something off of.
I think it was a 32-0 last year.
So, you know, they've got something to work on, but mentally, like I said, they really have to turn on up their game tonight. This is a team they can beat. They just don't want to beat them.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit, I was very surprised when Kettle Moraine came into our house and beat us 20-19. And by the way, they're leaving the field right now. It was either the world's largest flash cube that was more likely, and I think it was behind the second door.
We got 30 minutes on top of that, so we're going to see we've got 30 minutes also. So we'll be back with the opening kickoff whenever that may be on the Ripon channel.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Dude, that was great.
That was good. So that looked perfect.
Okay.
Well, my
We're going to set this to
and then I heard the
your attention to the 50-yard line. Let's give a nice round of applause for Ripon High School Core Department's player 80 members strong. Also at this time, would you please rise? Remove your caps as a player will sing.
like the rendition that they did.
Yep.
And there was about, close to 30 singers, I would think.
Definitely one of the better ones we've heard this year. So
Yeah.
what a
Now-
way to kick off homecoming.
Yeah, and now in real time, it's a very late start due to the thunder and lightning. But you people sitting at home watching television are doing well. Of course, we're live streaming as well, too. And so that's a new thing. We just started. This would be maybe the third time we're live streaming a game, I think.
Second time, I believe it is.
Like I said the second time,
Yeah.
and the first time it didn't work, so that doesn't count. So this is our inaugural flight
There you go.
into live streaming. And if you want to live stream and watch it live, what do?
YouTube.
YouTube, Ripon channel, and you scroll down, you hit live, and boom, you're there. And you get to hear us.
You
get
get
to
us.
see the game. Yeah.
Nice job, and something new and different. Glad we can do that on homecoming. Trying to get a little excitement here.
It's wet, it's soggy. This is one of the niceties with having turf versus real grass.
Yeah.
With all the rain we've had this summer and into the early fall. Fall just began a few days ago officially, but it's a nice field because of that. You get great drainage.
Could you imagine this now if this was actual grass?
Well,
with the amount of rain we've had this week alone.
I just remember back in the old days of Ingalls Field through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and all those decades, how all it took on a field was a bunch of rain on your first home game, and your field is pretty much
Done for the year.
Done for the year between the hash marks and from the 20 to the 20.
Well, because it'd always be the high school would play on Friday night, and
College
for some
on
reason the college
Saturday.
was always that next day. There was never that off time between the two of them, and it just tore it up. So this is a great thing
yeah,
here.
it's a non-issue. It's homecoming. Speaking of homecoming, the visitors tonight are Kettle Moraine Lutheran Chargers out of, is it Jackson, Wisconsin? And they wear the green and white.
The Jets.
taking on our black with orange and white trim host Ripon Tigers in search of their first win of the season versus the 1-4, I believe.
Yes.
Would be the Chargers of Kettle Moraine Lutheran.
And they will receive the ball to start this ball game. Finally,
Yeah.
after the lightning delay.
I wonder how many people that were live streaming gave up on it, going, what's going on?
Well, it's going to be a 40-minute delay by the time they kick this off.
Ripon's so sorely in search of their first win of the season.
We'll have to see how they come out mentally, because as we said, that's the big thing here. A nice kick down there by Schneider, and it's taken at the 5-yard line, gets across the 10 to the 15, up towards the 20, gets outside a little bit, across the 25 to the 30, down the sideline, gets knocked out of bounds. They're going to say he's out right around the 30, and all of a sudden the laundry comes out. Must be a late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, more than likely.
Somebody was watching a Packer game last night.
And that would, first of all, to let him return it 25 yards, got to do a better job. And we'll let them see what the officials are going to inform us about. Personal foul against
Ripon.
the Ripon Tigers.
So that'll move the ball all the way up to the 45 is where the Chargers will start with great field possession here as
Short
we are
field.
underway. Yeah. Well, we'll see if the Tiger defense is going to show up tonight.
Yeah, two things I'm looking for, and that's deliver a blow, and then between the defensive ends, in other words, interior defensive line play. I think they've really been very inconsistent.
Dropping back the pass, looking for the rollout. Has a guy down, and that's picked off
By number
by
3 for the Tigers.
Munoz.
Jose Munoz, I tell you,
He's your man.
and right now, if we had to choose a player, he'd be my guy.
For MVP?
What
he's done special teams,
and
defensively, offensively?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
And you missed the Plymouth game.
The Campbellsport game.
The Campbellsport game. He should have had a touchdown in that Plymouth game, which really would have been an accent in his effort and his performance so far in this season.
Well, and he had a great game over in Plymouth, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, Tigers after that turnover. Hughes ball underneath. Hand that one off.
Trying to
Who
go
else?
away.
They're going to get it to Munoz. Keeps going and gets down to about the 33-yard line.
Great vision.
A nice play.
Great vision, great cutbacks. He's got a nice feel
for the running back. I'll tell you.
Well,
That was designed to go to the outside, and it was being pinched in, and he made one cut back in, a second cut back against the grain, and got really good quality yardage.
and leading the blocking down there was number 52, Bryce Peth, as he leveled 2 people on that way down there. So 1st and 10, ball sitting on the 33-yard line for the Tigers.
Keeper,
Yep.
fake the
Good
other
play.
way.
Nice block out there again by Peth. And Max will pick up a good 8 yards on that carry.
Yeah, he faked to the right halfback, the right slot back, Joshua Moran, and did the keeper around the opposite side. Got some good quality yards out of it, about, 8?
Well, that's a good play because now the defense saw that. They're going to have to be a little more honest with Max, which will turn around and open a few other things up.
Yeah, which means you have to hesitate a little more to make sure, account for who's got the ball.
Moran with the ball, trying to get outside, nothing there. Cuts it back through, gets up across the 30, almost down to the 20-yard line. So it will be a first down as he's down to the 21.
That was the same play, only that time he handed it off because Max Hughesbow rolled out to continue to roll out the other side.
Well, he kept that defense, keeping their eye on him, which made a big difference.
What we've noticed here right away is they have not gone to the air. They've been able to do this on the ground after the interception. They got things very much going their way. Now, can they finish the deal? We'll find out here shortly.
Back now looking to pass. You asked for it, Marty. Here you go. Down in the corner and going for number 82 down there. And that was intended for Ethan Greff, and he was unable to get it. It was a little low on the throw.
Yeah, it was close to the goal line, too. I mean, they're very aggressive right now. Coach Wickstrom, the offensive coordinator that calls the majority of the calls, is playing some aggressive football right now. And I think you have to. You have to send a message right away. And you want to capitalize on the turnover.
In any way, ball is still at the 21-yard line, 2nd and 10. Straight handoff, up the middle, big hole. Cutting back, that's Cameron Hahn still going. Takes it down to about the 7-yard line is where they're going to mark him down. And we do have a player down for the Chargers.
Yeah, he's
getting
slow,
up
getting up, a little shook up.
That's Ellis out there. He's a 6'2 junior. At least he got up on his own, which is good to see.
Yeah.
So it's 1st and goal for the Tigers. Ball sitting on the 7-yard line.
So we've had the quarterback keep it in a run. We've had Moran run it. We've had Munoz run it. And we've had Cameron Hahn run it. So
we're going to get a timeout.
We've had, they've involved, if you can tell what Coach Wickstrom's trying to do. He's involving all of his offensive weapons early on.
Spreading it around.
Giving everybody a taste and a feel for the offensive game. And it seems to be, right now, working against the Chargers.
Well, we've run it inside, we've run it outside to the right, outside to the left.
That
even try to pass.
That sounds like a Knute Rockne, Notre Dame speech.
We're going to hit him up the middle.
We're going to hit him up the left. We're going to hit him up the right. Fist boom ba.
Exactly. God, we're bringing back the old black and whites. Or if they colorize that one. I don't know if Turner's done that one yet or not.
Speaking of old-time football, for those that are watching live streaming, if you're a Badger fan, tomorrow's home game at Camp Randall with the visiting Wildcats of Northwestern, they are both wearing throwback unis, and it's going to be real interesting. I believe who's the H? Armor All, or I think Under Armour.
Yeah.
Armor All. Under Armour All. That's another commercial.
That's right.
Under Armour is they both schools have Under
Yeah.
Armour, so it's going to be throwback.
Well, so
check it
Wisconsin
out.
will be wearing what they traditionally wear because they've never changed except for maybe the helmet.
Oh, wait till you see these old unis.
There we go. Quick handoff coming around the right side.
Munoz.
Plenty of room, and he stretches it down to about the 2-yard line.
Yep.
Be 2nd and goal from the 2. That was a good run out there. Good blocking out in front of him.
Yeah, that's what I noticed right away was the wedge of blockers leading the parade.
Well, if you turn around and get a chance, watch the 2 guards, because with this offense, those guards pull a lot, and they will be out in front of those runners. Max under center, gets it, hands it off right away, and be just short of the goal line will be Hahn. They're going to mark him down at the 1. Good job by Kettle Moraine Lutheran of taking the feet out
You want
from underneath.
Yeah. You want to score right now, right here on third. You don't want it to become a fourth down situation, so you want to score right now.
I'm looking at a quarterback keeper.
Yeah, basically a no gainer on the last play, so here we go.
Hahn in the backfield. Moran moving. There's the keeper. I should be an offensive coordinator. Touchdown by Max Hughes at the 8-minute mark exactly here in the first, and the Tigers draw first blood. And the best thing about it, Marty, is they score off of that turnover. That's big.
They've done a lot of end around with Max Hughesbo this season, too. I'm surprised that they weren't ready for that. Yeah, they capitalized on the turnover. That's what's the whole idea. I mean, what good does it do to get 2 interceptions and a couple fumble recoveries
and nothing to show for it?
Nothing to show for it. So to score first when you kicked off to start the game, huge.
Yep, Grant Schneider on for the extra point attempt.
Remember, this is a team that has not experienced a victory this season.
Well, after last week's humiliation by the hands of Berlin, you got to come back with some pride this weekend, and we're seeing a little bit of it.
Yeah, speaking of homecoming, as we get the snap and the hold and a very high kick down the middle, it appeared.
Good.
Berlin has their homecoming tonight
against Winneconne,
and that would be quite a game. If I wasn't here tonight,
That's where I'd be. Exactly. So the Tigers lead it 7-0 off the interception by Munoz, and we have 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter from Ingalls Field. Homecoming starting off the way the Tigers like it.
With a lead.
A score.
Yep.
It's a great way to do it.
They didn't score last week until it was the non-starters.
Yeah.
With some of the starters, including Max Hughesbo, against non-starters for Berlin. And that was their first score. And only score.
Yeah, that was
in the latter minutes of the game on a running clock.
That was a smash-mouth football game delivered by the Indians from Berlin. So the Tigers here tonight, though, showing some nice aggression on defensively to get that turnover, and then a very good drive, mixing it up, as you said earlier.
It was. They shared the love, I'll tell you. 5 different people touched that ball.
That's nice to see. Big difference there. So Grant Schneider on to kick for the Tigers. Good kick. That'll be taken down at the 10-yard line. Gets across the 15 up to the 20, 25, 30.
Oh, my.
Got it break outside. He's across midfield and finally taken out of bounds as he gets down close to the 40-yard line. The Tigers had a problem on that opening kickoff of the ball game like that. People are not staying in their lanes on that outside, and he's seeing that and kicking out there.
He had a lot. The ball returner had a lot of options, quite frankly. There was a lot of holes.
So they'll take over 1st and 10, ball on the Tiger 40.
That was Ben Zilka, a sophomore, with that return.
50-yard return on that. There's the quick handoff up the middle.
Good stick.
Nice job of hitting that.
Great stick.
Who was that? Bryce Peth, number 52.
With the first hit. He was joined by a teammate.
That was number 84 he was joined with.
But it was Peth that delivered the blow.
Kissinger was the second Tiger there, but yeah.
He met him in the middle and blew him backwards. That's a great football play right there by Peth.
So a 1-yard pickup on that. Calling out the signs. There's motion.
Run
Keeper,
blitz.
there's the pitch.
Nice
job of tripping him up, and he'll get back maybe to the 40.
Josh Moran, I believe, got the ankle tackle, number 2.
Oki was the ball carrier, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Good job by Moran coming across the line. And a good job by the defense. They forced the pitch early and filled and made the play for no gain.
So we got twins to the far side, single receiver here to the near side.
Six-man front defensively by the Tigers, showing blitz, which they do a lot.
Right. Now we get not so much of a blitz. And a nice job of the Tigers filling that one in. Is a lot of black jerseys there bringing that one in. Ethan Graff was there. Brady Kissinger were the first two to meet him. So that'll bring up a punting situation for the Chargers. Good defensive stand there by the Tigers. After a great run back, 50-yard run back by the Chargers on that kickoff.
By the sophomore, Zilka.
Elke in to punt. Low snap. There's the pass, the trick play. Nobody's on him.
Great call, great execution, even with a lousy snap.
Kabalowski out there as the receiver and gets the first down.
Great job. Ripon got caught.
They were sleeping, that is for sure.
Well, the old adage is you do a trick play when it's not expected, and you saw what happened. It's one thing to say that, it's another thing to execute it.
So they turn around and get the first down. Ball is on the 23, so the Chargers are still alive here. So the Tiger defense has to come back out again. Quick handoff. Still on his feet and moving. Quentin Steffens was the first Tiger to hit him, and he just spun right out of his hands. Nice job there by Elke.
Well, there's some spring in the steps now of the offensive unit for Kettle Moraine Lutheran. And they got quality yards on first down, about 5.
That's right. So it'll be 2nd and 5. Late handoff up the middle there. That one turned around and goes to
boy, there
Zilka.
Looked like a big hole initially, and boy, if you would have bounced that to the outside, he would have had a lot more than just a yard gain.
The Tigers swarmed around that pretty well. So it brings up 3rd and 4. Ball is sitting on the 17-yard line. We have trips to the near side.
Single on top.
And here we go. There's the pitch. Looking to stretch that out and going to knock him out of bounds just shy of the 15.
Casey Brown, the 5'9 junior, made first contact, number 25, I think that was. Nice job.
So it'll bring up 4th down and about a long 2.5. So this will be the test for the Tiger defense here.
Look for them to go to the wide side of the field. I don't know if they're going to play action pass.
They're going to take it right up the middle, and
that's going to be, well, we'll see what that does. I think they're going to be right on it. It's going to be close. Yeah. They gave it to them.
Yeah, the far official marked it as a first down.
That second effort, both by the line and the ball carrier, was the deciding factor on that first down. So they got something going right now following that trick play on a punting situation and getting the first via the pass.
Mr. Mo has switched to the Chargers side because of that. Handoff up the middle. Gets down right around the 4-yard line, 5-yard line.
Boy, they're running that belly series very well with the up back. And that quarterback, if you look how long he rides that running back, and then he decides whether he's going to pull or leave it. And it seems to be working rather effectively for him right now. The defense for Ripon is hesitating because they want to make sure who's got the ball. I think they just need to fire and hit the running back every time. If the quarterback option's wide, go and try to hit the quarterback if you can.
Just smack somebody. There it is.
Keeper.
Quarterback keeps it and is in for the touchdown.
So the punt return team for the Tigers got caught with the trick play, and it led to a pretty impressive drive by Kettle Moraine Lutheran with an opportunity now to tie the game with an extra point.
Nicholas Ninneman, the quarterback, with the scamper in there for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was off. It was an option touchdown. He optioned the up back.
Drager,
Blocked.
that gets blocked.
That was
His
blocked.
attempt.
So there's a 1-point lead.
Big difference there.
One way to make up for the for getting caught on the punt return team.
So with 2:57 to go here in the first, the Tigers lead 7-6 over the Chargers of Kettle Moraine Lutheran. So big paw getting in there by the Tigers to block that one. But yeah, that was a great fake punt play by the Chargers, and that really turned everything around for them.
Well, and to me, I mean, I'm looking at a low snap, and the punter, at least who we're led to believe is the punter, stayed cool, and he realized that Ripon was returning for a punt return.
There was no pressure.
And there was nobody, not only not pressure, there was nobody paying attention that the fact that the ball wasn't being punted.
Yeah, and Komolowski just kind of floated out there in no man's land.
Yeah, he was an orphan. And it takes a little bit of guts to make that call because you're already down a score. You're on the road, and if you mess up, Ripon gets the ball close to midfield.
So back deep for the Tigers is Munoz and Moran and Hahn.
Baby Hahn.
Baby Hahn. Cameron Hahn. You look at him, he's not a baby.
No, nothing too much baby about
this
him.
This one's taken by Munoz at the 16-yard line, cuts it up, gets a nice block, another block, he crosses the 40 to the 45, he's still looking, he's fighting for midfield, just gets across midfield to the 49 of the Chargers. Nice run back there by Jose Munoz.
What an exciting athlete. He's having fun.
So explosive.
Smooth. He's got great smooth strides, vision, cutback, acceleration. Just an overall good back. We're going to get a penalty against Ripon.
Didn't see the flag come out.
No.
That's way back at the 25-yard line. So the Tigers.
So instead of the 49-yard line of the Chargers, the ball's going to be back inside the 20. In fact, inside the 15.
Yep, down to the
Ripon.
14.
That's
where they'll start.
a huge. That's about a 37-yard penalty.
Difference, yeah. So here we go, Tigers with their second possession. 2:45 on the clock in the first quarter. They lead 7-6.
Huge penalty.
Usable under center. Hands that one off, up the middle. And a nice job of getting up to about the 20-yard line. Going to mark him just short of it. Was Cameron Hahn.
Good on 1st and 10, about a 6-yard gain. So you'll take that anytime.
Well, it makes it a lot easier to decide what you're going to do on second down now. There's so many more options. On in the backfield again. Munoz gets it, gets a block, cuts it back across the grain, and he's across the 30, struggling, and he'll be brought down right around the 33-yard line, and the first down for the Tigers. That was a nice cutback there. He saw everybody pursuing to the near side. Did a great job of cutting that back.
I haven't seen a run yet where he doesn't cut back.
Well, like you said, he's always looking.
He looks for that. He looks like he hunts that.
That head is on a swivel. It's looking everywhere. So a first down for the Tigers as we're under a minute and a half to go here in the first quarter. Double reverse coming around. It's Munoz again.
Good cut.
Has usable out in front blocking. Got two guys to beat and finally tripped up.
Now, There's an example of he just should have kept it to the wide.
Stayed out.
There was 6 in front of him. I don't know why. He just almost gets anxious and instinctively cuts right back in, cuts back against the grain, which he does very well,
Right.
mind you. So, what a great play. And, of course, Hughesbo, the quarterback, was one of the lead blockers.
Well, the way he cuts back reminds me of a player on one of our past state championship teams, John Pimental. Did a nice job of cutting back like that. Handoff. And Honda's looking, and there's nowhere for him to go, and he's going to lose a couple of yards there. They're going to say a 3-yard loss there as it's back to the 44.
I don't get that either. There was some forward progress by another yard. You should have got another yard there.
So it'll turn around and bring up 2nd and 13. And we've got enough time for one more play here in the quarter as the clock is ticking down to 10 seconds, and they may not even do anything with that. And they're not. They're going to just say that's the way the first quarter is going to end, and we'll do it the same with the Ripon Tigers leading the Chargers from Kettle Moraine Lutheran 7-6 on homecoming. We'll be back with the second quarter in just a moment on the Ripon Channel. Welcome back as we get ready to start the second quarter here at Homecoming 2019. Tigers leading the Chargers 7-6. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Tigers. Ball will be on the 44-yard line.
Calls for a passing situation. I think play action pass. Let's see.
That'd be a good call. There's the motion. Here's
He'll
the
keep
keeper.
it.
He'll go straight forward and gets
It was defended much better than last time when he ran for the touchdown.
He gets upended there.
Yeah.
Ball will be knocked down. They'll put him down somewhere around the 37.
Yeah,
38.
upended would be the way. That would be the descriptive. Looks like he was going into a handstand. But the good job of that defensive end or outside linebacker containing him, not letting him Maxwell Hughesbo get to the outside.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Tigers here. I would think they're almost in 4-down territory. And
I think he had multiple people moving.
yep. So they'll march it back 5.
So those 5 yards that were gained on the previous quarterback keeper are now negated, and we're back to that 3rd and double digits again.
So the Tigers here in the second quarter going backwards. So it'll be 3rd and 12. Hughesbo up under center. Munoz in motion going out as a receiver. Drop back
Screen.
to Carter Hahn. Shakes one tackle, can't shake the other, and he'll be brought down at the 50 for a 7-yard loss.
So the defense is answering the bell for Kettle Moraine Lutheran.
Well, they did a nice job of staying home. They didn't gravitate down the line with Munoz like I think the Tigers would have hoped. So it'll bring up a punting situation now. Max will do the punting. big kick. That's going to roll. Somebody better down it. Stop it.
Wow.
And a beautiful punt and roll.
Max Husebo, I mean, initially, at best, it was an average punt. And then once he got the roll, it went from an average punt to a thing of beauty.
That's just inside the 1 is where the Chargers will take over here. Yeah, that was a great punt. Good pursuit by the Tigers to get down there. And officials blow the whistle. We're ready to go.
Can the Ripon defense go 3 and out, keep them in the hole?
Handoff up the middle. Fumbled. Tigers say they've got it. Let's see the official call.
Yeah,
And the
units,
Tigers have it.
Yeah, the units are changing. Well, they got the first down on 3rd and long. They got their first down all the way down inside the 5 or outside. Here we go. Oh, that's about the 2-yard line or so. Let's see if they're not going to mess around and take it in right away. Don't make this a 2 or 3 series touchdown. I think they're going to see some, Cameron Hahn?
Oh, I'd send the bull to the China cabinet. Nope, they're going to go with Munoz, and he cuts it back in.
Nothing wrong with that either. Yeah, they went with Cameron on the kick out to the right. Nice seal block by the right guard.
And who is that right guard out there?
I don't know. It used to be a deodorant back in the old days. With those nasty aerosol cans.
There you go.
Great block.
Schneider in for the extra point attempt. Yeah, that one, he just took too long to get to the ball.
Yeah, the whole timing thing was thrown off, the rhythm. Yeah, so they've reciprocated with a block of their own.
So with 9:36 to go here in the first half, the Tigers lead 13-6 over the Chargers.
Yeah, and here's the storyline. The storyline is 2 turnovers created by the Ripon defense and then the Ripon offense on both those instances capitalizing with touchdowns. That's the story.
That's what you need.
And then how did the visitors score their touchdown? It was set up on a trick play also, a deceptive punt on 4th down, and they turned into a first down and then took it in on their short field and drove in for a touchdown. So all 3 scores have been basically set up by turnovers and a little trickery.
And giving each team a short field.
Yeah, you're not going to get much shorter than what we just saw with that punt by Husebo, and then on the first play, down to the 1-yard line, the first play, they coughed it up. Couldn't tell from this distance who was responsible for creating the fumble.
There was a lot of black jerseys there, and I'm sure it was Ripon and Strippin time for sure. So here we go, Schneider with the kick. And it's a good one down the middle. Will be taken at the 13-yard line, across the 20. Looking to that outside pass. He's going to cut back again as he gets just across the 35. So a little better job there by the Tigers that time as they shut him down.
Yeah, you generally want to keep him inside the 30. You know, certainly the 25 to 30 is what you'd like to do. Now, even though we're getting good distance on those kicks, the hang time is not of any significance, and that kind of throws the timing off of the kick coverage team. In other words, they're returning the ball a lot sooner than you'd like before the coverage has had a chance to get down there.
Quarterback keeper brought down from behind.
Nice job by 55.
That was Lucas Shire. Did a nice job of shooting back through there.
Well, that's exactly what he did. He shot that from the right-hand side and came in and got him from behind before that quarterback even had a chance to do his option dealing.
Yeah, he didn't get a chance to turn upfield, that's for sure. So it'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Chargers.
Got a 3-man defensive front. They want to spread you out and run option.
There's a handoff off the left side. Nice job of the Tigers as he'll pick up about 4 yards on that. Gets up to the 40.
3rd and long. The defense has done their job now. They have them where they would like. 3rd and long. This is where you got to be talking defensively. And it looks like to me there's some discussion going on too. That's a good sign. A communicating defense.
Yes. So a last-minute substitution here by the Tigers.
Going to plug the middle, going to take away the up back with their big stud, number 70 for the Tigers.
Jack Wojan goes in there for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's a 5'11", but 240.
Looking for the pass, going to swing it out. Just
No.
gets by, but no. Brought
Close
down
the door.
from behind.
52 for sure.
Bryce Peth coming from the backside. And a loss of about 4. They'll make it 4th and 10.
That's a hungry looking defense. Haven't seen that in a few weeks. Very nice. Effort.
Yeah, it's
Excitement.
well, like you said, the communication makes for great plays.
They're going for it, looked like almost.
High kick, short kick,
Uh-huh.
off to the side, takes a good bounce. Will roll and stop right at the 29-yard line, so that's where the Tigers will take over. With 7:19 to go here in the second quarter, they lead 13-6. Yeah, great job by the defense on that series.
Now this is going to be an interesting series to me in the sense that I'm wondering what is Coach. I'd love to be in the mind of Coach Wickstrom right now. What is he? Is he just going to keep doing what he's been doing, just running with his base offense, or is he going to open up his offense more right now, maybe with a little play action and pass and try to do some damage through the air right away?
Well, first down would be a great time to try it.
But I'll say this: having said that, their ground game has been pretty good up till tonight, up till now.
And they'll stay with it as Moran will get the ball. Nice little cut back there. Waterbug moves, gets up close to the 40. And they're going to mark him out at the
I think it's a
39-yard line.
Okay, yard short. Good move sideways, little Barry Sander-esque there on his cutback.
That's a great compliment. When you can
His
compare-
lateral movements, that's what you look at Munoz's style, and he's more of a traditional, a strider, and just a great vision and cutback. And you look at this, I used to use that term waterbug all the time, and that's a good description for this guy, for Moran.
Back to pass, looking downfield, going
He's
deep.
got him.
Has Hahn down there. And a nice,
If he gets
Carter had to wait for the ball.
I was just going to say, if he pulls the trigger sooner on that pass, on that release, that's the difference between certainly the completion, possibly 6, versus letting the defensive back recover and get a hand on that ball and make an outstanding defensive play. Because that's exactly what you had. You had a successful run. It is 3rd and it's 2nd and short. What a great time to call for the long pass.
And that's what you had been saying the last several weeks. That was a good time for that. And here, perfect. And unfortunately,
when you're running,
one of the few times Max doesn't throw it hard and deep.
Or didn't throw it sooner.
Yeah. Munoz on the move. This will be a straight handoff to Cameron Hahn.
And Coach Wickstrom calls the right thing. Okay, now it's 3rd and short. Let's get the first down. Now we can regroup. Now we're at now fast approaching midfield, and now we can do whatever we want to do. Because right now they're not showing a propensity to stop Ripon on back-to-back plays. They might do it one play, but they're not doing it for 2 in a row.
Well, the Tigers having a lot of success running off that right side with the great blocking out there.
When Jose Munoz runs it, regardless of where the ball starts, on what side, you're not quite sure who gets credit for the blocking.
Correct.
Because he'll end up on the other side of the field.
Heck, we even called Max a few times. Max looking back to pass. They're setting up that screen and just too high. And he had the blockers out in front of him, too. Had 3 blockers out there. And just overthrew Moran on that.
Little craftiness there called by Coach Wickstrom.
I like that. Now you're getting the defense to think.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 10.
So you like to get more than 5 on this play. It's homecoming. And we got off to a late start due to the lightning. Set us back another
40 minutes before the
yeah.
kickoff. So here we go.
There's their base formation.
Moran will get it, come around the left side, looking to cut back, nothing there. He'll pick up maybe
couple.
about 4. See where they officially mark him. They say he went out at the 47. They're only going to give him 2 on that.
He tried to use Bryce Peth as his snowplow, and that was, but then between that and running out of to the sideline, he ran out of real estate options.
Yeah, using Bryce for a snowplow is not a bad idea. He likes to hit people.
Just think, 2 days ago we were 90 days away from Christmas.
It's coming up quick.
What are you getting me this year on the play action keeper over the left end? Look at that.
Hughes, nice second effort, gets that first down. I don't know, have you been a good boy this year? Or should I talk to Connie?
Yeah, no. I've stayed no prison time.
Stayed the course.
Stayed the course. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to find something special.
Hey, by the way, we got teepeed.
You did, huh?
Last night.
Trust me, I was at home.
I couldn't. Okay, that's what I was wondering. My wife went to the local dollar store, and they were laughing because at
They
the
were
store,
out?
they're out of toilet paper because, of course, everything's $1.
Sure.
So evidently, you get a couple plies, a couple rolls for $1. Anyway, the player that was down while we had the official timeout got up, the lineman,
Samuel Rodriguez.
and he's walking under his own power. So other than being a little angry, you could tell he was a little ticked off that whatever happened, he was down. He'll come off for a play or two. We'll
keep an eye on that.
We'll see 68 again.
Well, they're in the same situation like we are. Low numbers. I mean, they even have less than we do. So everybody is needed, that's for sure. So here we go, 1st and 10. Ball is sitting on the 43-yard line.
That was a physical run by Max Hughesbo, by the way, off that left end.
Giving that one to Moran. Nice cutback up the middle. Gets across the 25 down to the 20-yard line.
He was dinking and dunking, dipping that shoulder and then giving it and then pulling it back. And who's he think he is, Munoz?
I don't know, it kind of runs like the Kansas Comet, huh? So a good first down there on a great run by Josh Moran.
Black jerseys down there, mixing it up in the traffic for him.
Ball is on the 20-yard line.
Quick feet from the running backs tonight are proving to be effective, very.
Keeper again by Hughesbo.
Boy, they're doing a lot of those. That's got to be at least his 5th keeper. Either from an immediate, we're going to show motion one way and I'm going to tuck and run out the other end, or with play action, fake handoffs, and then he keeps end around.
A lot of that trying to keep that defense honest and seeing what they'll let them get away with.
It's just an effective play because the idea of being misdirection and that hesitation by the defense creates, and when you create that hesitancy by the bad guys across the line of scrimmage, you should get yards.
And having a 6'3" guy carrying it doesn't hurt. And that one goes to Cameron Hahn straight up the middle, still going, gets across the 10, and momentum will push him back to. They're going to mark him at the 11. He didn't want to go down.
It took 4 jerseys, white jerseys. I can imagine what it looks like when you have Kettle Moraine Lutheran playing Kewaskum with the colors. At least with Berlin, you got some red trim along with some black trim. So Winneconne at Berlin tonight for their Berlin's homecoming, and we'll travel to Winneconne, I believe, next week.
Munoz coming around the right side, cuts in, gets down, and he's in the end zone. Nice run there by Munoz for the touchdown.
Quick feet, light feet, nice stride. Very quick because of that inseam.
Well,
Boy, he's a nice, lively running back.
And he let his blockers set up and then just fed right off of their hips.
Quite frankly, there was a big hole there. There was a big gap, and he had that one cutback from right to left, and he is, and he always finishes forward too, doesn't he?
Yep.
You won't see him lifting his shoulders up and getting hit in the midsection.
No, he's a leaner, that is for sure.
So
Got flags.
We'll see what this flag is all about.
That should be offsides.
So Ripon very much in control of this game. When you take into consideration the only score on the board for the visitors was set up on a fake punt to get them the first down and then eventually lead to 6 points with a blocked failed point after. It's been all Ripon other than that.
Well, Ripon's defense has shown up tonight, that is for sure.
Yeah, that was a rough go for the entire team a week ago at Berlin.
So they're going to choose to go for 2 here. Give it to
There it is.
Moran, and he's in for the 2.
That's the other thing we haven't talked about. Ripon defense got first hand. It was 28-0 before you could,
Blink,
open up your bottle of water, it seemed. And that physically will wear you down, and it will mentally wear you down. And maybe we're going to start to see that same type of effect take place on the visitors if Ripon can keep sustaining a long offensive drive when the defense gets the ball back for them.
It was a nice 2-point conversion. Why not go for 2 when you move the ball down to the 1-yard line? You might as well instead of trying to kick it.
And how many offensive possessions have we really seen by the Chargers tonight? I'm gonna say almost like I don't know if they've even had 4 yet.
Yeah, I think it's only 3.
Maybe 3 possessions. That's the other thing with the turnovers and then the long drives by Ripon.
Has eaten up a lot of clock because we have 3:41 to go here in the first half, and the Tigers leading the Chargers 21-6.
And if you're watching us live, hi everybody. This is really our first time. We tried it 2 weeks ago, and we had some technical difficulties, as they say. And now it's our technician is telling us, our man on the scene is telling us, hey, everything's good.
It's beautiful. Here we go. Little squib kick down the middle. That'll be taken at the 13-yard line. There he goes across. Now we're going to get a flag. That's usually in the area of the hold. Number 7 was out there for the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the hold or the illegal block in the back.
Block in the back, yeah. So we'll see what the official call is here.
It's homecoming in the one zip code town of Ripon, Wisconsin. 2019, as you said.
And they had a great parade today. A lot of groups involved in that.
Was it raining? I was.
No, it did not.
I was on the golf course. So
was it raining out there?
It started raining on the 18th hole when we were finishing up, and right around 5 o'clock, and the parade was at 4.
Perfect.
So that would make sense that it wasn't raining yet. And that's one of the few times that the forecast, at 11 o'clock this morning, said rain beginning around 5.
And it was right on.
They were there, yeah.
There's the motion. Handoff up the middle and nowhere to go.
So the Ripon Tigers said, no, Mr. Weatherman, you cannot rain on our parade.
Well, we want to turn around and throw it out to everybody that's watching live that tomorrow take advantage of the hospitality of the city of Ripon. We're hosting the 150th celebration of the Ripon Area Fire District. Parade will start at 3 o'clock in downtown Ripon, going up to Barlow. A lot of activities going on up there, live music, fireworks at dusk.
And what's most amazing to me is when I found out there's still some of the original firemen on that.
From that 150 years ago.
Yes. They tend not to go up the ladder, Howard, like they used to.
Well, that's understandable.
They're behind the scenes now.
There you go. Well,
but
talking about some of the older firemen, we are going to honor some of our retired firemen. They're going to be riding on our old fire truck that we have.
Very neat.
To give
Very
them
cool.
some recognition for all the years that they have served our community. So get a chance to get out there and check it out.
Yeah, and we got a flyer because we live on the park, and I'm we're gonna be down in Flatland country playing Grandma and Grandpa, so we're gonna miss it.
Well, you know,
I should charge parking from my front yard.
there you go. You want me to get over there and collect for you?
Hey, there's a handoff off the right side for marginal gain, pretty well defended, but all things considered, I take that back. It wasn't
There's
marginal.
7 yards
yeah.
on that. Yeah, a little bit more than we thought.
That was more of that. That's probably about the most physical offensive play I've seen by Kettle Moraine Lutheran this evening. As
Right.
if you look to the, is that the north end? We would say
Yes.
the band is getting ready to perform for homecoming,
They're going to storm the field.
and we have the names of all tonight's program. It's a special program. Have the names of every person in the band.
Dropping nice fake pass over the middle.
Wow.
Wide open. A good job there. And bringing that one down. Number 85 for the Chargers,
Boy,
Michael Wagner. on
and
the
Wagner
reception.
did a great job of just cradling the ball and not trying to catch and then run and then maybe not secure it. He just cradled it and went to the ground, got the first down, took care of business.
Took what the Tigers gave him and no more.
Let's see if they like that idea. We'll come right back with it.
Try to get
We're less than 2.5 minutes remaining in the half, so they don't have a lot of time. Sure enough, they're going to go to the pass
Pressure.
again.
and a nice job of getting that one away.
Sure was.
Still moving and going across, knocked out of bounds right around the 45-yard line.
Yeah, he fumbled the ball at the 45. It went out of bounds, so therefore they'll maintain possession. And move the chains again, stops the clock, and Ripon defense, of course, is going to keep the ball in front of them. They're not going to bite on play action and all of a sudden get beat deep. So they're going to let them complete the little ones, it looks like.
Your buddy Samuel Yeomans was applying the pressure to the quarterback on that one, and he just barely got
wasn't
that
that
one.
a heck of a play to get rid of the ball?
Yeah.
Remind me of the Philadelphia quarterback last night.
Little heavy
Wentz.
snap there, and fumble.
There's Ripon
Tigers
ball.
all over it. There you go.
Now they stop the clock, change the possession, and now who has an opportunity with a little over 2 minutes to try to put some more red numbers up there on the scoreboard?
Well, Joshua Moran is the one that knocked that ball out. And I didn't get the number on who recovered it, but Moran was very excited on that.
Still might be wet out there, you know, it's, with the rain we've had all day. In the morning, certainly, and laid off in the afternoon, and then picked up again rather heavily before game time. The big thing is that the Lightning and the Thunder have left the area, which allowed this game to be started.
Delayed, yeah.
Our 50-yard man, 50-line-yard cameraman behind the lens thinks that maybe that was Peth that picked up the loose ball after the Moran dislodging the ball carrier.
I wouldn't bet against it. I mean, we know Bryce is always around the ball sometimes, you know, whether it's hitting the tackler or scooping it up.
Yeah, very, very much on the ball kind of player. That was a play on words.
I caught it. So 2:03 to go here in the first half. Tigers with the ball at their 47-yard line. You got to wonder, what's Coach Wickstrom going to do here? Is he going to go at it hard and heavy right away?
I know they got a couple timeouts, I believe, and I'm not seeing the scoreboard right now. So you tell me.
They have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah. So
This timeout was taken by Kettle Moraine Lutheran.
So with 2 timeouts and 2 minutes and change, and the ball already at the middle of the field, they can pretty much do anything they want.
As our old friend Biggie would say, go for it all right now. Munoz in motion.
Play action pass.
Oh, a
knocked
nice
away.
job of blocking that.
Oh, they're going to let
They're
that
going to
play
say that's
continue.
a live ball.
Yeah, it was a lateral. So it wasn't was not a forward pass. There, why it heads up play by the Ripon player. Of course, it takes them way back on the loss.
Yeah. Now they're going to talk about this because I thought there was a little bit of a forward angle on that.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is you keep playing until you hear the whistle, and that's and the Ripon kid did the right thing. So let him sort it out.
That was a forward pass, but it was blocked.
And maybe because of the deflection, it sent the ball backwards.
Yep. We just saw the replay. So, and the officials got it right.
Waved it off. So it goes back to the original line of scrimmage, which if you're a Ripon, that's good news. Otherwise, it'd been closer to a 12 to 15-yard loss.
Got to thank our cameraman, Chris, here, as he showed me the instant replay.
Keep that up, Chris. You're going to be up for a raise.
I'll build him a platform. So here we go, 2nd and 10. It's a handoff.
Good defensive
Moran.
play.
He'll
Boy, they just
get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it at the most.
Defensive line. In fact, the defensive player that's down was the one that created the contact, stuffing the play initially. And they just beat, that time they beat the offensive line to the punch. He's got a right arm stinger. He's sore. He's going to get off the field.
That's Gavin Cannonberg. He's a 305-pound junior.
Remember, that was 68 that left the field for them earlier, Sam Rodriguez. And he's back playing. We knew he would.
Yep. So we have a loss of a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 11 as we're under a minute and a half to go. And here's the double reverse to the short side, and Moran will get it up to midfield at least.
Yeah, at this point, you want to be thinking more airmail at this time now, with 3rd down coming up. And
now this will be
4th
down
and long. At right on the 50, they spotted it.
So KML has one timeout left.
Boy, an opportunity here that just went awry with that defensive pressure and that deflection on the Hughesbow pass attempt.
Give credit to KML. That's probably the best defensive stand they've had all night. So Max will be back to punt. They're coming with everybody because there's nobody deep. Now we get a player going back. And a timeout's going to be called by Ripon. I don't know about that. I mean, you had nobody set back there. It would have been a perfect opportunity to kick it and
snap the ball
and drop one down there.
They didn't have anybody back.
So Coach Bradley bails them out of that one with the timeout. 35 seconds to go here in the first half. The Tigers leading 21-6.
Yeah, the indecision was on 4th and long. Is Ripon going to go for it anyway with the clock ticking down? And that was what was holding up the Chargers making a decision. Do we go with our punt return team or do we go our base defense if they're going to go for it? They didn't know, created indecision, and then they were able to see when Hughesbow came back out with a couple other teammates. Then they sent their return man to the back.
Yeah, but there was no way he was going to get back quick enough to
so here we
do
go.
anything.
Well, everybody's looking for trick plays now, so.
Good kick, angles that one down.
A knuckleball.
Letting it roll, and it'll die at about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, right on that 10.
And
good kick. We've seen a couple good punts tonight. They're not things of beauty. They don't win contests with high spirals, but he's been getting some good distance and then really much better bounces.
Good roll there. So 23 seconds left for Kettle Moraine. This situation, take a knee and just go into halftime.
Given field position, I'd be surprised to see them be aggressive with their play calling. They've already have shown a propensity to cough the ball up, both through the air and on the ground.
So they're going to go with trips to the far side. Bryce Peth directing traffic defensively there. They'll run it up the middle. Big hole, uses the official.
Yes, he did.
And Brady Kissinger will bring him down.
And I would have called the official for illegal block in the back.
So clock will tick down. We're under 10 seconds. And this is where the first half is going to come to an end, as they have no interest in doing it. So homecoming 2019, Tigers lead at halftime 21-6. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment on the Ripon channel. If you're listening to us live, we'll be back in 15 minutes.
scored by Isaac Whitlock. Representing your junior class, Mackenzie Murdoch, escorted by Ethan Joe. Representing the senior class, William Janelle, escorted by Parker Logan. Jocelyn Sheridan, escorted by Josh Moran. And Al Lewis, escorted by Allison Ross. And your 2019 homecoming Queen and King, Alec Betty Peter and Lexi, Betty Peter and Max UT. Congratulations to your 2019 homecoming court. Distinguished alumni, ladies and gentlemen, the Ripon Area School District is proud to announce that this year's Distinguished Alumni Award is being presented to Jason Brittany Mansfield. After earning his year's degree in radio, he and Phil from UWI. He was hired by WRPN, serving as program director and morning show host for 17 years. Jason is active in the band as a voice of Ripon Tiger Athletics and manager of the Ripon High School Auditorium. As executive director of the Ripon Chamber of Commerce since 2014, Jason is effectively commanding his hometown. Jason considers his greatest accomplishments to be in helping individuals and businesses becoming successful and making Ripon a better community. Let's hear a big round of applause for the 2019 Distinguished Alumni, Jason Mansfield. Congratulations, Jason. And now, tonight's halftime performance by the Ripon High School Band. During tonight's performance, we would like to recognize Ava McGinnis and her contributions to our halftime show. The Ripon High School Band under the direction of Justin Riverman, Emily Smith, and Claire Sprague, proudly present Ripon Tigers, defenders of the turf.
Welcome back to our homecoming broadcast where the Tigers lead the Chargers from Kettle Moraine Lutheran 21-6 at halftime. I'm Howard Hansen along with Marty Ernster. Marty, let's talk a little bit about the first half. It's pretty exciting for the Tiger side.
Well, they started off on the first offensive possession by the Chargers to following the kickoff with an interception that set up the first score on a end-around run by the quarterback, Max Usbo. And then they were able to got tricked after the defense did their job on a trick punt play by the visitors that set up their first score on a sustained 35-yard drive to make it a 7-6 game because they failed on the point after. And then the subsequent next two touchdowns by Ripon were basically set up on two more turnovers.
Short field situations.
Yeah, with fumbles and then taking full advantage of it. No shorter situation than a 1-yard plunge by Anthony Munoz, or not Anthony, he's retired, Jose Munoz.
Hey, he was a Bengal, a Tiger, still the same.
Yeah, a cat anyway, a cool cat. Both of them are pretty cool cats. So, Anthony decided his eligibility was, in fact, all gone. But anyway, so they've taken full advantage of all three turnovers to set them up for football scores. Conversely, the defense also for Ripon's done a great job of minimizing the effectiveness of the offense of the Chargers from Kettle Moraine Lutheran, and a lot of 3, 4, 5 play offense, and then they're punting. So I tip my hat for the Tigers in search of their first win of the season to come out here with enthusiasm, defense flying around, creating mistakes and turnovers by the opposition, and then the offense the offensive calls being made by assistant coach Jason Wickstrom, having the wherewithal to capitalize on those mistakes and turn those into touchdowns. That's something we haven't seen from the Tigers now in this season.
Well, and the nice thing mentioning Coach Wickstrom is spreading the ball around. I mean, the defense can't sit and settle on one or two people to defend because you don't know who's going to get it.
Their first offensive series, we talked about that in the first quarter. It was the running backs, it was the quarterback, it was the sophomore fullback. Everybody was touching the ball. And like you said, it makes it a little more difficult to cheat on one particular player. And quite frankly, it makes it fun for the offensive unit with everybody getting involved. Everybody's playing, together and playing for each other. So it's 21-6 at the half. There's still a lot of football to be played. And the Tigers are going to receive the ball to start the second half. And needless to say, they always talk about the importance and the significance of your first offensive series to start a second half. A lot of coaches at all levels will tell you they think it's very important in terms of setting the tone.
Exactly. Tigers, if they come out here in the second half like they did in the first half, it's going to be a wild one, so we're glad to have you along.
And for you live streamers, hopefully you saw the band playing at halftime. Hopefully you saw the parade too at 4 o'clock.
At least we had the homecoming court also, so a lot of activity going on here on the Ripon channel for homecoming 2019. And back deep for the Tigers will be Moran
during the kickoff,
Munoz, and Little Han.
Yep.
As Marty likes
Baby
to call
Han,
Baby Han,
but not in the program.
Right.
Nice high kick.
That'll be taken midfield by Moran, gets across the 20 to 25, gets a cut
Big
outside,
hole.
he's across the 30, found another hole across the 40, still getting up to the midfield and crossed down, knocked out of bounds right around the 46-yard line. A great return there by Josh Moran.
What a way to start. Talk about setting the tone. Special teams gets them into Charger territory.
And we got a flag back on the 35-yard line. I just noticed it back there blending into the line. Let's see what that is.
Have to wait and see. But what a nice return, and if one of the few highlights in the first half by Kettle Moraine Lutheran, in fact, was their kickoff and punt return game. They were very effective against the special units for Ripon, and Ripon just returned the favor. But it looks like they might have been in violation of what are they going to call it here? I don't.
Yep. Personal foul.
So other than knowing it's a personal foul, that doesn't tell you specifically.
So that'll take it back to about
what
the 20.
was done. So there's your about 30-plus yard result in terms of the infraction, the impact that has. Instead of being at the 49-yard line of Kettle Moraine Lutheran Chargers, you're inside your own 20.
So we'll see what the Tigers come out here.
Yeah,
ball underneath center. Gives it nice play there of getting some extra yardage there by Josh Moran.
Put his free hand down to get his balance back, and then probably leap forward for another 3 yards.
Yeah, so a 5-yard pickup there. Nice second effort there by Josh Moran brings up 2nd and 5.
Ripon doing a good job of protecting the ball tonight. Remember, the ball's probably a little greasy out there after a play or two, certainly because of all the rain we've had today. Got off to a late start, close to 3/4 of an hour by the time we started due to lightning.
Here's the counter.
Double reverse, yeah.
Munoz up the middle, found a hole, still on his feet.
What balance.
Nobody there to beat him. If he can outrun him, he needs one block. And guess what? Jose Munoz is gone for a 75-yard touchdown run.
And
no laundry. That's the best part about it. What a play there. That was all second, third, and fourth effort for him to get through that gap.
Well, he's been doing it all along. Now it finally paid off. Statistically, it's eventually going to happen when you're such an animated runner like he is. And I think the guy that was trying to close in on him might have just been chipped slightly by Hahn.
Yep. But
Cameron.
I mean, when he hit the 50-yard line, he just shifted gears, and that was it.
It's going to be wide to the right.
Yep. So unfortunately, can't connect on the extra point attempt. Makes it 27-6. But what a beautiful run there by Jose Munoz on a 75-yard touchdown run.
A lot of enthusiasm on that sideline for the homecoming host Tigers. And they're well on their way to securing their first victory of the season.
Well, it's been long coming. I mean, early in the season, they played very well, but played against some very tough teams.
Did that Campbellsport game, and boy, I really thought going in that was going to be their first mark under the win column, and it just didn't happen. Campbellsport Cougars came in, who had beaten them for the first time since that new conference was formed last season, upset Ripon, returned the favor again, and hung on for a 1-point win over the Tigers here at Ingalls Field in Ripon, 20-19. But
yeah, that was a big surprise.
But the one win, yeah, 2 years in a row, it was a big surprise. Now it's not a surprise anymore. Cougars have earned the respect of the Tigers.
Elke back deep.
I like the decision. I like the decision on that squib kick. I was going to say something to that effect. When Hunter was getting down there with the flag, now we'll get a flag after the play, where he's getting it for distance but no hang time, and the timing of the coverage is creating issues in terms of long kick returns by the opposition. So whoever called on special teams for this squib kick, it paid dividends right there with it being finally lassoed in and at the 30-yard line, and it's going to be better yet because there's a penalty going against Kettle Moraine Lutheran.
Well, you had mentioned in the first half, you realistically want to keep them around that 25, 30-yard line to start, and they did. They kept them right at the 31, but with the penalty, pushes them back even farther now.
So if you're the defensive unit for the Tigers, you're thinking right now, here's an opportunity again in the game of field position for 3 and out.
Quarterback keeper's got a hole.
Nice
coming to the
fake.
outside. Nice job.
Great fake. Schrader cleans up after he was taken low by number 6 and by 52 Peth and number 6 Ellis.
First down made there as 11 yards was on the gain. That was just a good solid run there by Ninneman.
Well, it was great skill in terms of deceptiveness. Everybody thought that he had handed it off, in fact. Good read by the quarterback on that keeper off the right side.
Nice snap. That one's handed off up the middle, and a nice job of tripping up there, getting a hand in on there. I believe it was 55 for the Tigers, and that was Lucas Shire.
Ripon line, where they've had issues, with their anxiousness to get upfield, to get in and disrupt into the backfield, they've been burnt quite considerably by good offensive teams that have been able to use that against them and get long runs. That tonight is not happening.
So 2nd and 8. There's the pitch out.
Makes that first man miss.
Strings it out. Looks like no gain. Elke was the ball carrier.
52 for the Tigers.
2nd and long, or 3rd and long, excuse me. So this is it right now. If the Ripon defense wants to do their job.
So it'll be 3rd and 7. This would be a great time for a 3 and out for the Tigers.
Great closing speed On reading that play by Munoz, got a hand on it, almost had a INT. Was he laid out for it? That's good safety work.
Got the big paw in there, create a 4th down situation. 8:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tigers leading 27-6 over the Chargers. Munoz will go back deep for the punt return.
So we're being live streamed right now, and of course you can also watch it on the Ripon channel. Tomorrow, Saturday, you might be watching it now, and then later in the week on Wednesday.
Munoz, nice job of calling the fair catch at the 38-yard line. So the Tigers will take over their 2nd possession here in the 3rd quarter. 8:47 to go.
Something I'm not used to seeing. It's one thing to have football players come out on the court for homecoming. Then I saw players grab their saxophone and stuff and
And
get
go
out
play in the
the
band.
band. And holy
Yeah.
mackerel, this is all hands on deck. That's like Cat in the Hat. What else can you do? Stand on a ball and, you know.
Watch it all.
You know, yeah, right.
So here we go. Hughesville up under center.
Who do you think? You think Cameron Hahn's going to get this?
Sure, why not pound him up the middle?
I do. No,
Oh.
straight drop back pass out to the flat.
Munoz out there. Nothing to the left. Goes back to the right and gets knocked back a little bit.
Yeah, gave up a couple yards trying to get more yards, and the pursuit by the defense made that decision look a little like you just get what you can.
So
Good job by the defense.
So a
'Cause that-
4-yard pickup.
Yeah, that play looked like it had a lot more to it, and a lot more was going to happen in terms of getting downfield. And their hustle out to the flat to make the play minimized.
The gain there, yes. So 2nd down. Munoz going around the right to the short side. Does a little juke there, gets across the 45-yard line. Then we got a couple of Tigers getting up a little slow there.
Wait till you get to our age.
It takes a lot longer. Yeah, getting down isn't the problem, is it? It's
No.
getting back up.
You know that old thing, I don't know how you were, but boy, I always took a lot of pride in the tuck and roll. Well, now there's just the tuck with no roll.
No roll. Don't let me break on the way down.
Play action pass, and there's that bootleg action. He likes to run out.
Gets up the middle, crosses midfield, gets down to about the 46-yard line, and a 1st down for the Tigers.
Great decision by Max on that cut back upfield, north-south running. Good job. They've run that play a half dozen times tonight. Coach Wickstrom has put that play in. He realizes that Max is a big, strong, tough kid, a cannon for an arm, as the old expression goes, for a strong arm, and with deceptive speed. Not necessarily quick, but fast once he gets those long legs uncoiled.
He's got great strides. Alex Button came off for the Tigers, holding his arm on that one. Keep an eye on that on the sideline. Max back to pass, looking downfield. Uncorks this
Wide
one, wide
open.
open, and that's Moran. And you know what? He's waltzing into the end zone for the touchdown.
Boy, he makes that look easy with that passing motion of his, and threw a dart with that spiral.
Well, Moran did a nice job of getting behind his defender, and the defender lost him.
You know, and he's done that a few times this year, early in the season. In fact, the first game of the season.
But
And sometimes it hasn't been successful in getting him that ball. But, boy, he does have a knack for getting behind the secondary.
46-yard strike there by the Tigers. Hughesville to Moran.
This
And all of
is-
a sudden, homecoming's fun.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you look at the job that the quarterback, Max Hughesville, is doing, getting, whether it's on the ground or through the air, when you look at Moran and Munoz, their effectiveness getting into the end zone.
34-6, Tigers pulling away from the Chargers as we've got 6:33 to go here in the 3rd. Lot going on tonight. Brewers are out playing as they've made it to the playoffs. Just a matter of where they're going to end up. As the Cubs are playing the Cardinals, Brewers are just one game behind them for the division lead. Everybody's out there singing a little John Denver here at homecoming and enjoying it.
Yes, and remind you viewers and listeners, always check your fuel tank
Before you take off.
before you take off. Your reserve, anyway. What a shame to lose such a great talent on something that didn't have to happen.
And that safety message brought to you by Marty Earns or
John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. And we're live streaming, and I'm looking at the monitor on that. It's about a 25-second delay as we get out of bounds kick, so that'll bring it out.
They'll start at the
30?
35, I believe it is.
I'm trying to remember, you got 40-yard line in the NFL. We'll have to see what it is in high school.
The official
it's
threw
at
the
least,
flag and landed on the track.
It's at least the 30.
Should be the 35, I believe, is where they bring it up to. Same as in college. Oh, but they're
going to kick over, offsetting penalty, so they are going to kick over.
A break there for the Tigers.
Go back to that squib kick. Let's see if they do it again.
Smart idea. Don't give them the opportunity to set up.
Well, it's just the timing of the kick. I mean, you can kick it. If you kick a line drive down to the 10 or the 15,
you're giving them time to set up a run back.
Well, it's just that the kickoff coverage team can't get down there in time. He's got the ball, and they're running 10 yards back with the ball before they've even gotten in the neighborhood to make a tackle. There's a traditional kick.
That'll be taken at the 11-yard line.
Best
across
kick,
the 20.
yeah.
Cuts it out.
Best kick of the evening.
Taking him down like a bronc there was Ethan Graff.
Well, then you could have been out there, Howard, because I've seen you take down a brat or 7.
Hey, now I enjoy going over to Plymouth just as much as you do.
We do. I have to wear an art smock when I go there because of all the condiments on those brats.
There is nothing better.
You've heard us say this, folks, but we can't say it enough. The Sheboygan Hard Roll with a double brat in Plymouth, Wisconsin, they should have a traveling trophy.
Oh, best piece of meat out there at all in the conference for sure. Gives the Kewaskum hot dog,
a run
for it. And we can attest to eating quite a few of those. So a little run off the right side, pick up about 4 yards, maybe 5, as they put it down at the 30. Clock continues to run as we are just coming up on the 6-minute mark here in the third. 34-6, Tigers with the lead. And
good stick by
Bryce
52.
Beth.
That hesitation to cut back. He thought about cutting back, and Bryce And Bryce said, "You know what? You really shouldn't have done that." Okay, time to go back into your cage now, Bryce.
Yeah, that was one of those nice old-fashioned chest-to-chest tackles.
And he had an earlier hit in the game midsection where he drove the carrier backwards. He's having some nice physical, aggressive hits, and that fires not just yourself; it fires up your teammates as well.
So to bring up 3rd and 7.
Nice play by the linebacker.
He's having fun, as you said, that's for sure.
4-man front, but the linebackers roll up and show blitz.
Going deep, got behind the secondary, but that's not going to be caught as it's out of bounds.
Yeah, boy, if you're the receiver and you have a step and a half or 2 steps on your defensive back and you don't have a chance to make a play on the ball because you got led out of bounds, that receiver's going, geez, how many opportunities is he going to get in the game to do that? And very few.
Well, the receiver had a nice fake. He got Casey Brown turned around and then shot behind him. All the quarterback had to do was drop in his lap, and he was gone.
Yeah, he had a good 3-yard lead on him. Separation. Make sure they punt at that time.
Munoz thought about it and just let it go out of bounds.
Yeah, he was thinking about trying to save it from going 15 more yards down the field.
So the Tigers will take over at their 35-yard line.
Good field position. for the Tigers.
Yeah, one of their better starting spots, that is for sure. 4:56 to go here in the third. A lot of activities this week at the high school, as there always is, with homecoming. Due to the weather, they had to move some of them inside. Normally they have the bubble soccer out here on the field. They had to move that into the gymnasium. Here we go, Max under center. There's the double.
Look at that.
Munoz cuts it back and gets it across midfield down to the 45.
Boy, what an adrenaline push. He just ignites. As soon as he squares up.
He's shifting gears.
My goodness.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. Bryce Peth, I think he's just gassed, as he was leading the block on that one. Coming out and taking a breath, getting a drink. Gives Jack Wojahn a chance to go and take his place. Munoz moving again. This is the quick handoff to Hahn. Cameron just gets up to the 45. I'd like to see Cameron run a little bit more with his head down and leaning forward.
I agree with you. He runs upright.
It's too erect.
And that tends to be a problem. Too big of a target for defenders.
You got a lot of body
if you
to
can,
hit.
well, that's right. If you can run behind your pads, a little bit of a lean, like you said, with his athleticism for a guy his size in this conference,
he can do some damage. There's the pitch out. Moran directing traffic, trying to get outside.
Gets a few.
And we're going to get a flag out at the 40-yard line. See what the call is out there. He was well away from the ball, so.
Yeah, it was on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
So they readjusted to the 41. Chop block is the call. So that'll move them back.
Now in the professional ranks, the chop block, the problem with that is if a defensive lineman, for example, is already engaged with an offensive lineman, a second offensive lineman cannot come down and go for the knees and the lower extremities. That's just to save a career from a offensive lineman or a defensive lineman.
And that's every
and I'm
time.
not sure how that works here. If you just can't chop block, period, or if you can't do that, like I just explained on that reverse to Munoz.
Back up the middle. He's going to get that and more. One block out in front of him. Carter Hahn with a nice block out there. Munoz cuts out to the right side. He's down to the 5. He's scampering. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. And that's a 56-yard on top of his 75-yard touchdown run earlier.
You know, and a guy like that's been waiting for this because he was so close in kickoff returns and in other runs this season where there's been just last second ankle-grabbing, touchdown-saving plays by the opposition. And tonight, they were wearing them down. Great run by Munoz.
And where do all good runs start? With great blocking up front. And he did a nice job of following and picking through. High snap, kick is up.
That looks better.
Much better. Took his time on that one. Puts it through, does Schneider. Makes it 41-6 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
There was nice, on the point after that they missed, there was just no rhythm from the snap to the hold to the kick. And you can tell just by looking at it, it's solid. And you need that. And when those, well, for example, you lose 20-19. I mean, tell me that those PATs aren't important.
Huge difference there.
And Schneider has a very live foot.
Yeah, very active leg. We saw that in the last couple of years. It runs in the family with his older brother, Hunter.
Yeah, in fact, his older brother probably used to punt his brother.
Yes,
he could probably
Hunter did.
Yeah, you could probably actually punt him.
Sure.
And then of course, mom would have to come out and
Break it up.
Break it up, stop that.
Yeah.
But boy, his older brother, he was defensive end and punter in the conference. He won with recognition for 2 positions.
Nice kick. That'll be going down. He
no.
touched it.
It's going to be a touchback.
Into the end zone.
It'll be a touchback.
Yeah.
Boy, that was close to going out again for another penalty.
Well, there's a rarity, folks, seeing a touchback in a high school football game. Don't see many of those here in the
and you're not
East Central
allowed,
Conference.
And with WI rules being what they are, you cannot return a ball from the end zone unless they've changed that rule, but I don't believe they have.
So, okay, 3 minutes to go, and the Chargers will turn around and come out.
Run blitz on the right side, and that's where the play is. So there should be marginal gain. You're running right into it.
Yep. Did a good job by the defensive line out there.
They're always doing that.
Just a couple.
They're going to have 3. They'll have like a nose tackle, your 2 ends, and then they're going to either roll up their linebackers, 1 of 4. They're going to show it on one side, not go. Cat and mouse is what they're doing. And sometimes you run into it, like that play right there for a 4-yard gain, and other times you're away from it.
So 2nd and 6. Handoff up the middle, big hole.
Oh, I tell you, both running backs use a stiff arm. They like to use their hand to kind of guide behind a Ripon blocker when they're running. And right there, that runner, he used an old-fashioned stiff arm on the would-be tackler. And you don't see a lot of stiff arms anymore. But he did a good job of it, too, as we get a Ripon player hobbling off.
That's
number
Lucas
55.
Shire coming off.
He's one of those 6-foot seniors, 220-pound linebacker.
Peth creeping up, spins off. Rolling, looking, throws it down the middle. Nobody's there. Incomplete.
Late hit out of bounds, so it's going to go against.
Yep, there's the flag.
And don't you know, Luke Shire, who had just limped off the field, was the recipient of getting plowed into. Jeez Louise, you're already limping. How unlucky is that? Poor kid. Now, they got that blue tent down here.
Are they going to use it?
I don't know. I thought it was for the rain.
I thought the coaches were all going to be in that during the game. Stay dry. Well, Shire's trying to walk it off a little bit. So it's a 15-yard personal foul for hitting out of bounds. Brings the ball up to midfield.
Class of 1971. Keith Cram just listening in on the live stream. Played golf with him today, actually against him. And then his
came out on
younger,
top of that one?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
And then his younger brother Craig, class of 74, golfed with us today. It is homecoming. Now, the 45th high school reunion for the class of 74 was held in August, middle of August.
Good time to do it.
It was a great time to do it because there was discussion back and forth about whether you do it on the traditional homecoming or something set up in the summer. It worked out really good.
Well, speaking of that working out good, it's 41-0 or 41-6. The Tigers with the lead as we finish up the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with the 4th quarter on Homecoming 2019 on the Ripon Channel in just a moment. Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Tigers leading 41-6. Chargers with the ball, 2nd and 10, right at midfield. Handoff up the middle. Nice job of taking him down after about a 1-yard gain out there.
Is that Yeomans? What a great job of slicing through to make that tackle. I'm not sure who was that.
Kissinger.
84.
Brady out there on the
Yeah,
tackle.
Brady Kissinger. Great job of slicing through from behind.
He gets a hand as he comes out.
So this game so far, it's been capitalizing in the first half, capitalizing on mistakes by the Chargers and Ripon turning them into 6 points. And then in the second half, it's been 2 long runs by Munoz, Jose Munoz, and then a long pass to Moran from, there's another strip and a turnover. Look at that, speaking of Moran, down to the 25. What a great strip job.
By the lineman in there. And if it wasn't for Parker Fry, it would have been another 6 there for the Tigers.
So I was talking about turnovers, creating turnovers in the first half by the Tigers and turning them into the points. And then it was the long runs by Munoz in the third quarter with the touchdown pass from Max Hughesbow to Moran. And now we're back to the turnover. This has to be the 3rd fumble and along with a interception to start the game. So at least 4 turnovers created by the defensive unit for the Ripon Tigers.
Which is good to see them on that side. So we're starting to get a few new jerseys in there for the Tigers in some spots. Hand off to Moran, goes around the left side, picking his way, finally gets hit by a group of white jerseys, and he'll make it down to about the 24-yard line.
There's a good effort on the right-hand side of the Chargers for no gain. You know, going back to that class of 74, there was also the 40th reunion on the same weekend. That would have been August 17th. By the 5 years younger than that, that'd be class of, let's do the math here. What would that be? 5 more years, huh? That'd be 79. And we ran into each other, those groups, and had a good time.
Oh, that's fun when you can intermix like that.
Yep. There's a nice handoff to the right, cutback off the right tackle.
Job of taking the ball down inside the 20.
It'll make it 3rd and short.
And that was Casey Brown, the ball carrier, his first carry of the game.
Hughesbow, I'm sorry,
You
go
were
ahead.
talking about the reunions and that. My wife goes to school up in the UP, way up in the Keweenaw Peninsula. They don't do a single-year reunion. They do an all-class reunion because you've got small classes up there, so you really get to know a lot of them on each side of you. And,
as opposed to, hey, all 11 of us, let's get together for
exactly. Yeah, let's mix it up a little bit. And they seem to enjoy that up there. She just had her 40th.
Look at that hole off the left side by Moran. He's diving in.
Touchdown!
Holy smokes. They have just taken it up to another level, and the enthusiasm by both defensive and offensive units.
Oh, like you said, it's mental, and we were wondering how they were going to come out of the block tonight after that game last week over in Berlin. And, boy, they sure answered that question very quickly.
In search of their first win, and my goodness. What an explosion. Both, you look at the Munoz and Moran rushing, the statistics after this game tonight.
Going to be interesting to see
what
those two have.
They're going to stand out like, let's face it. You got a 75-yard touchdown run by Munoz.
And a 56-yard.
50 plus, and then everything in between. He's going to be a 200-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Plus.
Should be one of those.
Moran caught the deep touchdown pass, has run for a couple touchdowns.
I mean, Munoz has the interception, that first interception of the game. So quite an effort by those two. But a lot of times in those efforts, you lose track of the big guys up front in the trenches that are doing their job for them also.
48-6.
Nice to see.
Boy, it's
Tigers on that side.
Boy, They've had some opportunities, even at one of the top level 4 teams. Second week of the year on their turf.
Yeah, I really thought they played Kiel very well
They did.
up there, and
They
the
did.
score didn't really show it because of that late interception.
Well,
which kind of lopped it.
you were down to less than 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and a screen pass picked off for a 65-yard touchdown going the other way for the bad guys, and you take that out of it, and it was about a 9-point differential against the top team, who went on the following week to destroy Sheboygan Falls.
Kickoff taken at the 10-yard line, gets up across the 20. He's got a full head of steam going up the middle, bounces outside, finally brought
Nice
down at
tackle.
about the 35, 36-yard line by the Tigers.
Nice tackle, and I think that was by 72 for the Tigers coming off the field right now.
Samuel Yeomans.
Nice job from behind.
Now we're looking at some new numbers out there defensively for the Tigers also.
Big explosion in the 6th inning. Milwaukee Brewers now down after leading 2-1, 8-2 in the 6th.
Oh, wow.
But the D-backs, no surprise there. That texted to me just now by Keith Cram. The Diamondbacks, or the Colorado Rockies.
I was going to say the Rockies,
Yeah.
I thought they were playing.
Yeah, I knew they were out west. That launching pad in Denver.
Yes. It's a nice ballpark out there.
Going back to homecoming as second and short for Kettle Moraine Lutheran is the downtown merchants were so good. Everybody from Roadhouse and Baker's Bar and Vines and Rushes, Lasonia Country Club, golf course, I should say. Just everybody was so accommodating.
Jaden Heemstra in there on the tackle, the freshman. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing. Small town, a lot of pride. You know, it's always nice. I know I like seeing a lot of the older classmates come into my store and talk
Offered
to them.
tours, you know, for
Yeah.
people that hadn't seen the new high school. I'll say new, it's still new with the high school remodeling and addition and the new middle school.
Hand off up the middle, get a first down there, ball beyond the 49.
Below 7 minutes and ticking, 48-6. Kettle Moraine comes in with one victory on the year, that one over the Warriors of Ripon. Ripon was in search of their first win. They're going to get it tonight. They're going to hit the road and take on a very aggressive physical team over there in Winneconne, an old foe from the old East Central Conference days. That conference was formed in the early 70s.
And turn around, and they're over in Berlin tonight, so
Yeah,
depending on how that one comes out,
Berlin has their homecoming going. That should be a heck of a game.
it should be. Power against finesse. Winneconne known for a lot of speed. So to bring
The
up,
Wolves.
yeah, you go over to their school. And
Yeah, so does the Wolf get a hold of the Indian tonight, or does the Indian spear the Wolf?
we'll have to wait and see what pops up afterwards. So 2nd and 2, back to pass, little outlook pass. No, you were supposed to go out, not in, according to the quarterback.
Yeah, and the quarterback's always right, if you ask him.
You know, and you're looking at here, pretty much Ripon's second squad going against the first squad now of Kettle Moraine Lutheran. So it'll bring up 3rd and 2. Quick pass out, first down, and driven out of bounds. Ethan Dragner, the receiver out there. Clock continues to run. We're down to 5 minutes to go here in the ball game.
Once again, for those that just tuned in on the live streaming or are watching the delay on it by a day or middle of the week Wednesday on the Ripon channel 986, this game got off to a 40-minute delay due to the lightning and thunder.
Pass across the middle, caught on the outside, shakes off the defender, and going into the end zone for the touchdown is Spencer Stern.
In the poor defender, he had him. He did the right thing for the Ripon. He just learned that, guess what? Legs are stronger than arms.
It was Gabriel Carstnia out there.
He was trying to do everything he could, and he needed reinforcements to get there just a heartbeat sooner and that he would have been brought down. But good effort by the receiver on that play to shake him and get in for 6.
So the extra point is good, which will make it 48-13 with 4:38 to go here.
I got to tell you that you asked that question, who got the better of Keith Cram and Dolphin today? And, well, put it this way, he knew it was homecoming. He used this fiery orange ball that you, even though it was cloudy today, you had to put on sunglasses.
It was so bright.
I'm not kidding. I will take a picture of this ball and I will show it to you. It's if my lens on my phone can handle it.
Jason Mansmith is used to
It
feel
looks
like
radioactive.
Yep.
You think there's something
generating that
wrong.
inside
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And I suppose Keith's still hitting the ball pretty far.
He does.
He hit one of the farthest home runs I've ever seen at Barlow Park.
I believe it.
And it was off the
Well,
shelter house in left field.
Was that him or was that baby Huey Kurt?
No, that was him. Kurt hit one into the tennis court.
Okay.
I remember that one.
Yeah, the Cram brothers, if you didn't hit a home run in a game, you didn't
eat.
You didn't get dinner or breakfast the next morning.
Yeah.
Tough love.
Yep. Don and Bev definitely raised them to be very, very physical. So Munoz will run that out of bounds. And I played my Little League for Don Graham. Got to play with Craig. And
that would have been the Orioles.
The Orioles, you betcha.
Gray unis, orange trim.
Orange trim, yep. Couldn't ask for a better coach starting out young.
Did Palmer pitch for you guys then?
Flores did. Palmer, he had passed his time by already. But no, we had Joel Flores on the team.
Oh, I know you did.
So there was
and
another.
Joe probably playing third, and John, if he wasn't pitching, was playing first.
Yep.
And that worked out that way when they made it to state. How many years later, from Little League to their senior years in high school, under the great Ron Wahusky.
Yes. And they went up against Milwaukee Hamilton
in the first game.
Yeah, which back then they only had 2 divisions.
And Kurt Cram hit a shot over the left field fence early in the game. They went on and lost that game to the eventual winner. That team went on to win it all.
Yep, Milwaukee Hamilton was a very tough team.
I want to say they had their school colors were like white and green or gray.
Correct.
Gray and green.
You're right on.
Yeah, it's funny how my wife will tell me I remember useless information, but to you and me, it's important stuff.
I look at it this way: if I remember it, it's not useless. I'm just glad to remember it.
Well, we're down to 4 minutes, 48-13. Ripon well in control of this game with big plays tonight. Defense doing their job of getting turnovers. There's an end around to the right.
Brandon Carlson in at quarterback for the Tigers right now. The sophomore.
But what a baseball team that was.
Yes.
My goodness, you go down by position and you look at Flores, the left-handed pitcher with a nasty curveball. Craig Cram behind the plate, class of 74. I'm talking about him earlier. He went on and played college ball at that position. We were talking about Keith. Keith went to Lakeland College, played football and baseball.
For the Landfish.
As I call them, the Muskies.
And,
Kirk came back to Ripon. I played with him at Ripon College on a good club. Yeah.
You know, that team, if it would have been the division set up like it is nowadays, or even just 3 divisions.
Yeah, I mean,
they would have brought home a state championship.
You look at the class of 71 and the baseball. You look at the class of 70, 72, 73, 70. He had some really good team sports teams in terms of baseball, basketball, and football.
Handoff, going around the left side. Brought down at the 40. That was Casey Brown with the carry. Under 3 minutes to go here. Yeah, it's always nice to talk about some of the legends of Ripon High School.
Yeah, and then they had some good, class of 74. They went undefeated that 73 football season. There were no playoffs then. Playoffs began, I believe, in 1976.
Correct.
And the first state championship game was between Antigo, the Red Robins, at Titan Stadium versus Milwaukee Madison in the Knights in their green and white uniforms.
Yeah, they did it on a point system. That's how you got in.
Yeah, there were undefeated. There were undefeated
Ripon was
teams,
undefeated
conference
that year,
champions
and
that did not get
yeah,
in.
we were conference champions and did not get in because it was like 1/100,000th of a point kept us out, and that was a team that really could have gone deep into the playoffs. So they keep the time running as we are in the 35-plus mark here.
Jim Watson, the football coach back then for a number of years.
Keith Bardick was the offensive coordinator back then.
Gibb
Stolborough, Mac McCulloch.
And then Gibb, I love Mac. Gibb Stolborough came out of retirement and then was working the offensive lines with the state championship football teams of 03 and 05 here.
A lot of history.
Yeah.
So after all that, we get a whistle blown by the official.
Greg Wiggs was the feature back on that. Joe Flores was the quarterback. They played Omro High School in the Battle of the Undefeateds. They shut down Wiggs, the 1,000-yard rusher that season, and Joe Flores ran, I believe, for 5 touchdowns. I was in Colorado Springs, but I still followed the boys.
So the fans here are having a good time on homecoming. A lot to cheer about.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it always makes it fun. Was it 2 years ago or last year we played Plymouth for homecoming?
Yeah. Not much fun.
No, it was a cat fight, but it was the Panther really took it to the Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
They were after it, and we had more of a therapy Tiger.
All right, here we go, ready to go. A lot of new black jerseys out there defensively. Handoff up the middle, get across the 25.
This for a lot of these kids, it's quality playing time under the lights on a Friday evening,
yeah.
And it's their first experience doing it, and you know it's a blast.
Yeah, it's not that Monday afternoon game that they usually play for the JV. So
right, where the uncles, grandmas, and dads and moms, if they can get off of work in time,
right,
are about the only people at the game.
Back to pass, pressure on, going deep, wide open, and just overthrew him as number 2 out there. Ethan Drager got behind both defenders, but the clock will continue to run. So it'll be a victory for the Tigers on homecoming, a well-deserved victory as they played very well tonight.
And we'll head over to Winneconne next week to see if they can make it 2 in a row. Because remember, they need, if there's any consideration of getting into a state tournament situation,
they need to win out.
They need to win out.
And have something happen in some other conferences. So this will be the last play of the game, going deep again.
Just got him.
Had him, but just couldn't pull it in. And that will be the ball game. And what a ball game it was.
It was, and Ripon did everything right. You know, their offense, when they got the ball from their defense on turnovers, started out basic fundamental running, and from there they opened it up, and everything seemed to work as the longer the game went on. They were very successful, involving a lot of different running backs and receiving positions. And Max Hughesball, just an overall great athlete with his feet and his arm. And then defensively, they set the tone, particularly I felt also in the second half, where they did a lot of 1-2-3s, shut them down, made them punt the ball, and got it back for that offense to do more damage on the scoreboard.
Exactly. And
team victory, eh?
That's for sure. A huge team victory. 48-13, Tigers victorious here on homecoming in 2019. I want to thank Riley, our executive producer, Chris and Casey on the cameras, Marty Ernzer on color. I'm Howard Hansen, and wishing you a great homecoming from Ingalls Field.